when I toggle it on. And it'll go live from, let's see. We're gonna go live on Facebook and YouTube. I'll put the links in the shoot jump over here. There we go. I'm going to put the links in the chat. Here's the YouTube. It's for anybody that wants to share. And then we'll go live from my Facebook. Okay. All right, so, oh, maybe we are already live. I guess it was already toggled on.
We made it.
Oh, it is already on. Can we edit out the first part, maybe? Well, okay, here we are. Rock and roll. We are January 1st, 2025, and we're here on the Vision Train. Welcome to jump on board. For the next couple hours, we're going to be highlighting and celebrating this capstone edition of the Galactic Trading Card Project, which has been stewarded as a vision seed of artist and permaculture professor Delvin Silkinson and intergalactic ally for all the artists. I think he's flying spaceships right now. You can see him in his amidst one of his beloved circles.
This circle is actually called the Welsh Roswell. It's the most perfect circle geometrically in a hilltop high in Wales in the UK. Old Ew Chaff. So yeah, it is. It's literally a landing pad. I'm so joyed to be here on the Vision Train with this growing global visionary community to share art and creativity and inspiration. It's such a joy that so many of us are connecting and collaborating and continuing this great alchemical work to make and share art and works of creativity, which go out in the world and have all sorts of positive ripples and bring great benefit to so many people. Thank you so much, Amanda Sage, for putting this together. You've been such a champion and really made a profound difference and really brought this project home in many ways. You're an art angel, and I really, really appreciate you and all of your help in bringing this project home.
I'm bouncing around here flying spaceships, trying to see all the dials like, oh, oops, somehow the wrong text is sharing in the live, but I will fix it. Yeah, we are, I mean, I feel so honored to be a part of this project for many years. And it's such a gift. I want to highlight the element of gift here, because this is a project where 111 artists have, gifted the permission to create, to make this deck and these decks over the past, we're going into the 25th year of this project. And you and your time, you chose this as a project to dedicate a lot of time and commitment to disseminating the work, right? And it takes all the players, right? Like we have to remember it's not just the artists making the art on the, there's artists weaving so many parts of the story together to bring it into the world. And it's essential that we have all these players, and so many we don't get to celebrate, you know, directly. And that Delvin is here and stepping up in this way. I just feel so grateful to you. And so to play our part, is essential. And so many of the artists that are part of the deck have been sharing today. The Kickstarter, amazing, the minimum has been reached. We have another little bit less than 2 hours to go. And we can just do so much more cool stuff. Bring it up. Maybe you'll share a little bit about that, Delvin, with more people that purchase decks. Basically, this is also just like a way to like pre-order your decks.
It's really right out of permaculture. I'm a permaculture design teacher, and this idea of crowdfunding is really in alignment with the values of fair share. It's the democratization of cultural production in many ways. It's like, hey, anyone now who doesn't have the money, we live month to month as permaculture teachers, connecting people to the planet. We couldn't do this on our own. And the crowdfunding concept is call together a creative community. And if people are willing to pre-order, they're really just pre-ordering a deck. There's other ways to contribute, but that's the core. If they could pre-order, then we can raise the production costs to print these decks and to ship them to the artists, because that's actually considerable. There's 111 artist tons from Peru and Africa, Japan, Australia, all over Europe, all through North America. Then it's like, hey, we can manifest the miraculous, really do something we couldn't do on our own, and make something happen that we wouldn't be able to do. So it's a great format. There's tons of platforms. We chose Kickstarter for this one for various reasons, but yeah, it's really about getting creative and thinking, how could I do something that I don't think I can afford to do, especially if it's a creative work that's going to bring benefit to many people. So it's a really interesting unlock. It's a golden key for those of us that are doing community projects to like not feel like it's completely blocked if we ourselves can't fund it individually. So yeah, the goal now, we'll see how far we travel out into the universe, but the goal is to add some metallic foil and foil up 8 cards and the box as just another level of sheen and polish to the facets of this jewel, to make it even more professional and high quality and just like crispy. So we'll see where we get in the next couple hours.
I think this is also a quintessential project that describes visionary culture. It is a core essence of this exchange that I think makes this community unique worldwide, right? There's links between the imagery, though styles are very diverse, right? Themes, but also this like supportive, collaborative environment rather than competitive. And that's very much what the Vision Train is about. And the Vision Train is just catching the wind off of the sail of all the visionary movements before, and using the media at hand, right? And the media of the trading cards, I want to learn more about that, how you've designed that and envisioned that, and how to play and work with them, because I think that's a very fascinating way to work with art, right? Story.
I love it. Well, I have the design backs that are unshared, and we also have one of the luminaries of the deck, who is actually a really core inspiration for this whole thing, Ariel Ali. Maybe I can spin through the designs just to get the creative juices flowing, and then we can invite Ariel to share on the art, because he may not have, we'll see how much time he has to be with us, and then we can just keep flowing in and out of the deck, in and out of art, just have this be like a creative emergence that we collaboratively create together. Can you see that screen? Is my screen share working? Give me a little thumbs
Yes,
up.
yes, we can
Yeah,
see it.
Galactic
Galactic
trading
trading.
card.
Yep.
So it's interesting that Amanda was talking about the Starship interface, which of course is featured in a lot of Ariel Ali's art. That was a core inspiration. So in the year 2000, in a peak experience with sort of a starship galactic civilization elvish scenario, this idea of the interface and communicating that and having the back of this syncretic oracle, which is a star oracle, but it's also connected to the I Ching, to the tarot, to the Mayan calendar, and to the chakra system. So you can see in the upper left, there's 4 cards. Luke Brown was in the room. It was me, Luke Brown, and CJ. And Produce had the 4th card in the first set. You can see it's handwritten, the light chip up there. And then the first generation of design, it's almost like designless there with the Crimson Pearl Fairy. That's the back of a Luke Brown card. And then this is all happening over years. Each new edition, the cards were completely redesigned, recurated, and rewritten. So this will be the 15th edition. So you can see these are 8 core editions where there was big progress made, from the black and white. So I'm like hand printing this, photocopying it at the photocopier and cutting thousands and thousands of cards with a razor and a ruler by hand, like hundreds and hundreds of hours of just like cutting. And then you get the first full color edition on the upper right, and down at the upper left, you can see CJ James, who's the creative director of this project, just kept designing it. Every couple of years we'd get together and do a retreat, and he would redesign this starship sort of celestial interface. And we get down to clear spirit and it starts to look really crispy. And then the art prayer, CJ really conceptualized this. We really wanted this to be a collaboration with a bunch of visionary designers. So CJ initiated this creative moment where we welcomed other designers beyond him to come in, take his interface and remix it. So that's a remix, it looks like, by Brooke Paul and Materia Media. And then you can see the Lifecraft. So this is the new edition. This is totally unreleased. I'm just going to fly through, but I really want to honor the visionary designers who've made this happen. They've been volunteering their time. This is what CJ calls the white room. So it's the unflat Photoshop file that we send to the designers. So this is CJ's set for the new 2025 Capstone edition. This is the major arcana of the tarot space. Fire, which is wands, which is clubs in the new deck. Water, which is cups, which in the new deck is hearts. And I name them different in the Star Oracle too, but I'm just linking in the tarot for fun here because it's a syncretic oracle, so you can look at it from different lenses. Air, element of air, which would in the original tarot is swords, which became spades. Earth, which is it's earth. Diamonds, I think it was coins, and then it became diamonds in the new playing card deck. So that's the basis. Then we sent that white room to these designers. This is Sean Friesen, who is the design lead for this project and did incredible work and really kept this going for many years with inspiration. He lives in my village, so we got to spend a lot of time in person together, and some of the designs were done in the room together, which was awesome. So we have space, fire. Sean really embodies incredible intention, which is a core of this project, is putting a huge amount of intention into the design. And we'll talk with artists about the intention they put into the art, but this is the element of fire, and it's so layered, and he was inspired by the genetic makeup of these elements. So some of the designs you can see there reference the atomic structure. There's water. This is the Crowley ordering. There's different ways to order it, but I think that Thoth deck is like major arcana, fire, water, air, earth. There's air. So I think that's the atomic structure of like oxygen. Have to get him on here to give more about his intention, but it's just incredible. And here's the earth. Now, the project is all based on sacred math and the interrelationship between divinatory systems mathematically. So there's a bunch of sacred numbers that run through for those of you that are into sacred math. So we're talking I Ching is 8 trigrams. Every combination of those 8 elements makes 64, which is the genetic structure in the I Ching. Now, 64 plus 8 key cards makes 72, which is the core of the tarot, plus 2, which are the world and the universe that are kind of outside of the sequence. Or sorry, it's the fool in the universe, I think, that are outside of the sequence. The Mayan calendar is 20 and 12. So each of the 5 tarot suits, so there's 4 minor arcana, earth, air, water, fire. So in the tarot, that's 13. There's 13 in each of those. So 13 times 4 is what, 52? And then the major arcana is 20 plus the 2 outside of the sequence. So boom, we get our 74. And then this deck's 128 cards. So we have free agents. So this is one of the free agents that Sean did it back for. Brooke Paulin, a dear friend, lives on Vancouver Island, and I see him regularly, hopefully more this year. He also really kept the project alive all through this has been a 5-year process of curation and design. And all through the weird years, he would email and say, I took time to do a new design. He did a ton of designing, and it really helped with momentum, which in permaculture design, we always note like momentum is key, like keeping momentum on projects. That's the reason that projects succeed or fail. So this is the major arcana space. Fire, water. Bless you, Brooke. You're so amazing, buddy. Air, look at this one. I love it. Sweet. So it's the Starship interface. I kind of imagine it as being something that's just in the air, but in this case, it's printed on paper. Yeah, totally amazing. What did I do? Water. This is a free agent, I guess so. This is Earth. Very elvish, which has also been a core theme for the deck, is elvish, both in the sense of like Lord of the Rings and Dungeons and Dragons, but also in the sense of star people, celestial elves, and the kind of entities that were involved in the ongoing collaboration of the project, particularly with the design and the text, and certainly some of the art. And then here's a series of free agents that Brooke did.
So amazing.
This concept you'll see again and again. One of the recurring themes is the idea of the astrolabe, which is like a celestial compass through which you can track movement of distant galaxies and star systems, planets, comets, etc. Yeah, I love this one. Brooke, just bringing it home. Oh, this one, there's this idea CJ's brought in a lot of nebula, of like the creation place for stars and solar systems, and like what the cosmic creative process looks like. Really appreciate that. This one I kind of was inspired by one of the earlier designers, at least in my mind, Aaron Ricks of the Pod Collective, which was a earlier form of a similar thing that the Vision Train is doing with this rendered metallic edges to the interface. Just another beautiful one. Sort of Terra Gaia free agent. Lots of Shipibo patterns come in and out. Mugwort Designs, also from my little village. He now lives across the country, an incredible artist and designer. Some of you may be familiar. He works with tons of visionary clothing and has amazing art products. And do you know Mugwort, Amanda?
I'm pretty sure we've met a couple times, but not deeply.
This is so this is the major arcana element of space. This is the portals, it's called in the Star Oracle of the Galactic Trading Card Complex. This is fire. So you can see he just totally deconstructed and reconstructed the interface completely. Unlike the other designers, he really just went for it. Water. Another space one here. He really got out there. Bless you, Mugwort. Thank you for all your work. Just totally awesome. I think this is water too. He's kind of interspersed the free agents here, another space, but a really intricate play with the ancient future interface tech. So that is the backs. Super blessings to CJ, the creative director of this project, for being the lead on this for 24 years, and to Sean Friesen and Brooke Paulin and Mugwort, and special props to Fong and Zavi, who ought to bring Fong's design back out. But Fong and Zavi, deepest, dearest friends, created the iconography of this. I'll throw there's the crystalline spore logo there. You can see the crystal in the middle and the mushroom below it. Zavi and Fong did the iconography, which I didn't include that in this presentation, but maybe I'll throw it in later, which has been a mainstay of the project. So that's a little bit about the design, and maybe I'll bring up Ariel's art. I'm so grateful for you to be here. Let me just give you an introduction, Ariel. This project, which is about many things, but it's about the beyond, including interfacing with other beings, the more than human world entities, all this stuff. Ariel really, when we connected, I was like, man, this project was made for you. You embody the cosmic, celestial, galactic. And Ariel, talk about diligence. He's been sharing online an incredible amount of art for as long as I've known him, just consistently making art and sharing it and uplifting so many people all over the planet. And we've been including his art for a super long time. We even made a lenticular, like a 3-image lenticular of one of his works many years ago. But Ariel, it's a great honor for you to come here, and maybe you want to say anything you want, including anything about this art, what it means, and your process of creating it.
Well, thank you, Delvin, for that nice introduction. And you know, it's so perfect that we're sharing at this point, because I can look back and see so much work done and gotten out into the world. And a lot of it started with you inviting me to a Temple of Visions many years ago. And part of probably why you did that at that time was I was very involved with following Terence McKenna, Jose Arguelles, and those people at a certain point, which kind of was my introduction to the visionary world, or the divine imagination. There are various ways of talking about it, but Terence was like, he became a friend at one point, and these images were born from some of his talks, and I went to Hawaii to visit him in his mushroom-shaped house in the jungle, and with two of my friends, and it was quite a moment. He went on to become more famous than he was when I knew him. And he just kept going, and I'm still finding talks that he did. But one of the main few talks that he would do, he would talk about the elves. He would talk about the self-transforming machine elves. And I thought, well, what's that? And before I had any kind of inkling about what they were, he was spinning yarns about these these elves that spoke visible language, or at least that's what I took from some of the talks. And I had journals. I have a journal right now here. It's probably hard to see because I have these weird backgrounds. But I wrote down like what the elves were like for me, and sort of a taxonomy of it. I call it the elfin body construction in one part of it. And I made these drawings of what their voices looked like as they were speaking. And, in this case, it's like, well, in a way, it's kind of like a secret language. And how I pictured it was part of the ayahuasca journey with DMT had to do with speaking visible language. And so how would that look? And mine are very simple. And yet, if you go into what these are doing, there's a basic movement of this language coming out. In fact, just a quick aside is I would have these dreams of speaking with people, and you would see that the voice come out in these whirling, twirling, visible linguistic constructs. And I just couldn't believe it. I said, this is just like Terrence was talking about. And now, sometimes in these places, your own imagination gets mixed up with the oversoul imagination, or the imagination of the planet, or the galaxy, or the universe itself. And it's hard to tell sometimes. But I think being a human artist, it gives you a chance to make it tangible, to make drawings, to make paintings, to make some kind of a reflection of this world that is in front of you. And I think I have all this philosophy about, the farther you go in, the bigger it gets, and the bigger it gets, the more strange it gets. But I want to mention that the idea of love and connection and communication between people is really important to me. That I feel that's what the world is made of, in a way, our conversations, how we speak to each other, what we speak about. And it's sometimes very hard, to follow that kind of ideal in the world. But, part of it is to show what you do. And when people see that, they understand that, well, okay, there's another way of looking at the world. I'm not sure it's a deeper way, but it's a fun way. And yeah, basically, I wanted to have fun with this. And I think, and I did many drawings. This one's still not finished. In fact, when you mentioned foil, I thought, wow, what I see in the background of this is a very white, light kind of foil that has slight rainbow, effects. Not enough to cover up the art itself, but just kind of a reflective surface that shows depth, So that's a lot of it, it goes on and on. I mean, I have books of drawings and ideas for animation, for comics, for movies. I'm still doing it. The fact that I'm here is kind of a miracle, because the world wasn't exactly asking for this. But I think it starts to after a while, though. It is now. It's really excited about what I'm doing. So I keep going. And Amanda, I've always wanted to be on the vision train. I mean, it shows how busy you can be and still not do the things that are so high in priority that you would just love to do. But now here I am through Delvin, and all the crowd that helps support these ideas, which is, to me, I remember talking like 10, 20 years ago, or 10, 15 years ago, with a friend of mine. Once we had first discovered, okay, it's got to be longer than that now, these sort of imagination vitamins, and so we would take these imagination vitamins, and we came back and would talk about it and say, everything I thought about before this point, it's different now. Everything is different now. I think part of an artist wants to do is to become like a child and reach into the imagination box, and come out with these things that no one's ever seen before, that no one's ever thought of before. And so you kind of regress, you become like a child. And part of the elves was that regression to a time when things were simpler and yet more complex by the same token, you know. Um, so yeah, this is part of that journey and that reflection of the infinite imagination, you know. I think that's what visionaries, or that's what people looking to discover are trying to do. Uh, so if you have any questions about it, or if that's enough, you just let me know, you know.
Well, I can make a few comments, Ariel. Wow, that was totally awesome. Um, I just had some text messaging with Grace, who's live here on video as well, who is the project manager for this project and helping with all things, including making it beautiful. She created all of the products for Alex Nelson Gray at Cosm for many years and did the marketing. So she's here to make this beautiful and gorgeous. And she just confirmed that, yes, if we do reach our foil goal, which I'm noting actually we're at 865 towards 3,000. So we're about $2,000 away from it right now. If we do reach the foil goal, she can indeed do, like, I don't know how you describe it, honey, like an opalescent
Yes,
uh
yes, yes.
foil of some kind for this card. So there's 8 foil cards. Amanda will
Ah,
be one. Robert and Martina will have them. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but like that is achievable. My question for you, Ariel, I'd love you to share a little bit. There was some work on this that you did during our exchange about this project. This project actually brought you back into like doing work on this artwork. You did some coloring, right? And I
yeah.
wanted to highlight, like, you do art in many mediums. Often you do digital art, and this you also do paintings and drawings and have all these sketchbooks. But I don't know if you could want to say anything about your process of creating this exact piece and maybe the stuff that you did to it, like after we decided it would go into the deck or after you brought it forward as the ideal piece for the deck.
Well, that question really surfs the boundaries and the conversation that we were having about this, because I presented something else to you. It was a highly rendered with my computer, addition to an older drawing. And you told me, you said, in a very nice way, you're always so nice, that you would like something that was drawn and that it was not computer kind of, tampered with, or however you would put that. And so the thing about this drawing is that it's back probably, well, the elves go back to, I think it was 1997 or so, which was a highly psychedelic time for me. And so when I was doing these, it was purely by hand, and the amazing thing is, I mean, there's no reference at that time. Now I have so much a buildup of resonance of what I've created already. It's almost like I just look through anything that I've done, and it creates a whole other pattern, to start with again. And so these were like the very basic kind of constructions coming out of my mind. And so when I did these, they just, like, I'd start with the elf, and then I'd say, well, what is that language coming out? And I start drawing in there. We're using color pencils and very tiny brushes with acrylics. Um, I wish I forget some of the names, but the art store is like such, an art store is like a treasure trove to an artist. You walk in there and you go, oh my God, I get to use this stuff. And so this was the very basic thing that speaking of AI, and no one was, but I think I'll do that. This kind of thing can't be done yet because not enough of it exists in the world for AI to steal, or I mean, to borrow from and to recreate in its own image, whatever that is. Um, so these very primary, very original takes on that imaginal space, or were very primary and very like prehistoric in a way. but I saw that it was so dense in there. Once you go into these spaces that are, and where are they from? Where are these from? What are these molecules trying to teach us? Part of it was, and this story here actually is about what they're saying. And what they're saying is they're reflecting something about us that is very delicate, in a sense, like a psychedelic can be like a microscope for the mind, for the eyes, to see deeply into the organizational principles of what reality is made of, basically. And so the idea is that the more you can say without saying anything, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, imagine, thousands of words and pictures that just explode, and suddenly there are these patterns that come out. And I think they're saying something about what reality is made of, is all I can, think about saying for it. And I think, well, what I saw one time, as soon as AI came out, I thought, well, this stuff's going to start doing what this was doing, which is when you walk into a space, I imagine this VR space, you walk in, the elves come up and they start speaking this language. And the sound will trigger the AI to create visual pictures of what this sound looks like. We see that now with synthesizers and visualizers and DJ VJs. So what does that look like? And that's the thing about creating these in such a delicate and deliberate kind of visual integrity, is that if you know what the story is about, you can begin to create an idea of what they're doing. And to me, the excitement of art, for me, period, is to create some kind of mystery within it, something that you have to figure out. Something it's like the cards, the cards are like another part of this. Okay, now you get this card. What does this card mean? And it has something to do with the origin of language, with the origin of speaking some kind of picture, some kind of story. I mean, it's all story. Life existence seems to be one story after another, one story built on another. And so, what I'm trying to say is that if you imagine Terrence, he had a talk one time where he talked about that. He said, there'll be a moment when I say this thing in such a way that it'll construct this picture that will just take it all into another level. And that was, I think, his idea of 2012. Maybe I can do it with language. He would say things like that. And I think I can do it with pictures, and a musician can do it with sound. You create these adventures. So yeah, that's just part of a story. And part of my art, the idea is to create a story within each picture. That you have paintings, you have ideascapes that become stories themselves. And of course, it's fun to me to create something that people can have their own story. And something like this is perfect for that. You could say, well, because it's complex and yet it's simple if you look at each individual part. And you can put your own story in there and see how this spiral conversation can take you into places that are very sacred geometrical, and says something about the way things are created that are a positive aspect to reality. I think sacred geometry is a very important aspect of that. I think children should learn that as part of their curriculum, how basic grace in form is constructed, before we destroy it or make some kind of punk idea about it. There's an inherent beauty in the structure of reality that should be respected. That's how temples are created. That's how, sacredness itself, I think it has a lot to do with that. That's my answer, Del. That's my answer.
I love it. That was a beautiful answer. I have a couple comments. I'm going to highlight one of the comments in the chat as well because it's so awesome. But you were making me think of this saying we have in permaculture, which is if a picture's worth 1,000 words, then a model's worth 1,000 pictures. And I think your work in the digital realm, which is moving towards and continually on the absolute edge of technology, is about bringing art into this, dimensionalizing it into this other level so that it represents what it's showing in different ways. And I think you've done this really great in this drawing. The elves, you've created the sense of distance and dimensionality brilliantly. And you've also explored this in your paintings and also in your digital work. And thank you for sharing Memoirs with Terrence. That's super legendary. I don't know if Amanda got a chance to meet him. I missed him. But he was very influential. However,
Yeah.
I'm joyed to live near Dennis, and actually this project was initiated, this Kickstarter was initiated with a podcast on the Brain Forest Cafe with Dennis. So that's shared online in a bunch of different places, but maybe I'll pull up the link and share it in the chat too. But there's a podcast discussion with Dennis, which I think is really delightful, that he did specifically to support this Galactic trading card deck, which interestingly enough, there's a portrait, and we'll get to this when we flip through the art. There's a portrait of Dennis and of Terrence in the deck. So there's a sort of spiritual saints, kind of visionary saints, we'll call it, like through the deck, which is another like sub theme. So, so I love that you went to Hawaii and met Terrence. You're a legend. It's amazing that you're here sharing. And I know this will echo out and be seen by other people elsewhere, and we're streaming live to all of these other folks around. So I really appreciate that. I wanted just to highlight some comments made by Tiffany, who I'm seeing elf ears, and like I'm super into elves. Thank you, Tiffany. I love that you're connected to elves too. Maybe you're a elf in a past life and you created a self-portrait as an elf, which I would love to see as well. So I really appreciate it. I don't know if you want to say anything, Tiffany. You're welcome to.
Yeah, I can say something. There's children's TV on in the background. Hopefully that's not just to like keep my baby pacified while I jump on the vision train for the first time in like a year. Yeah, actually I was just putting a glaze on it right now. I was like, yeah, I did the self-portrait through Amanda's class, and then I had kind of stopped because like the values on the face, and then I had a baby, whatever. But yeah, I have it right here actually.
Wow, cool.
I like painted like the highest like version of myself. And it was as a magical elf with butterfly wings, and we've got like eco villages in the background. I'm like, I kind of like reworked the background, and I'm like, I got a glaze, I got to add perspective, whatever. But
Love it.
yeah, and then I don't really know where I got that from, and I didn't consciously know where I got that from. And then I had a reading from a very powerful clairvoyant that I had a past life as an elf, and she had not seen this piece. So I feel like it was kind of confirmation. I was like, oh yeah, it was an elf. Oh, and where did I live? Sedona. Okay. Yep. Makes sense. And I'm holding there like a crystal staff, as I make these magic wands with crystals. And she's like, and yeah, you used to make like wands and staffs with crystals and all this stuff. Like, yep, okay. That checks. That's where I got it from. So I feel really connected to that. And she said that my husband and my baby in this life were also with me in that one too. And her name's Ella, and it just occurred to me like how close to elf that is just recently.
It is. It is really close to elf. Well, Grace and I here, and maybe some others will join us throughout, live in the Elphinstone. And our crew has been representing the elfish vibes for a while, and that might have been partly what connected me to Ariel Lee as well. We have a crystal shop, which is called Elphinstones, a music recording studio called Elfin Tones, a hemp ice cream brand called Elfin Cones. So we really are playing around with the idea of elvish culture, and certainly that was a core inspiration for this deck, which is an expression of elvish culture in the most highest pattern level of it, not tied to anything specific. Although we certainly love ElfQuest. We certainly love Lord of the Rings. We're big gamers. Grace, my wife, is here. She's a dungeon master, and gaming has definitely been a core part of this deck. It's a gaming complex. It's an oracular gaming complex. I like to think of it as a game that you can play in 1,000 different ways. And that's how there's a syncretic oracle, but there's also this idea of the micro gallery of like, choose the ever-changing micro gallery on your altar, your wall, or your mantle, or your fridge. And this idea of gamification, which is huge in permaculture, is come out of this idea of elvish culture, and this being an expression of elvish culture, partly because it's coming out of the Elphinstone in the little village in coastal British Columbia, Canada.
I love it. Maybe we're all remembering our past or our future lives as an elves. I think so.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thanks, Ariel, for
Yeah.
all of your sharings, and thanks, Tiffany, for jumping in on the elf tech. I totally love it. That's
Yeah, absolutely. And then Ash, I just discovered another artist. I don't know if she's a vision train artist at Carol Metalkova. Maybe some of you guys have heard of her. I feel like she's very elven too. I mean, she did wear a pair of elf ears on one of her Instagram pictures, but just had to mention that I felt that kinship with her as well. Another fellow elf. Anyways, I love that you're bringing that in, and this is a really cool. I mean, I love the piece even before you explained it, Ariel, but like hearing that's a visualization of language, and that you really had, did you say it was a dream, or like a lucid experience with plant medicine?
Well, it turns out that I had a hard time finding the elves in these experiences. And I think a lot of it was because at the time that I was experimenting, it was like a kind of an edgy thing to do. But I had friends that had the best, the cleanest, the most activating substances. And but I actually, so much of my work, and probably a lot of people could say the same thing, you don't actually remember the thing itself, but you remember the idea of it. Because when you're in there sometimes, it's a whole other conversation, but just to touch on it, when you have a really good visionary experience in this way, it's almost like the trance is so strong that all you can do is to stare into these places, into these beings, into these effects of these beings, without going insane, because it's so wonderful. I remember having something I would say once in a while after an experience. I would say it wasn't going away. It wasn't going away, which means that you were looking into something that was so beautiful, so intensely strange, and yet, potent, some kind of an oracular, hyper-dimensional world that you could barely handle seeing it, because it was so different from anything you've ever experienced in your regular life. Although nature itself, of course, is so complex and so beautiful and dynamic that it competes very well. But even that can be a great entry point into these places that are pure mind, pure cosmic intelligence, or galactic unification, signals or something. I have so much language that comes out of it, but yes, we used to call them the self-transforming machine elves. And it had to do with, the idea that you could recreate yourself at will by how you thought about yourself. And they would do it. And so basically, this came out of traces from experiences that I've had. And I thought, what would an elf look like to me? What's a machine elf, a self-transforming one? How would they look? How would they act? And so I came up with a lot of different drawings and ideas for animations. And it's like trying to catch an animation at a certain point, you know. I mean, you can see here that there's something going on, and you could well see how you could animate it. And in fact, we have tools now as we speak that you could probably put this into the thing and tell it what you want it to do, and it would do it. Of course, there's karma, you know, for me to find this person, to find the right machine, to find the right moment, kind of going on here a bit, but it's all here now. This is an amazing place and time to stop and reflect on the visionary movement, because we have entered a time when the world is becoming a visionary movement itself. And so luckily we've here been doing this long enough with, you know, Alex and Amanda and you, and people have been constructing a positive vision of what's possible, so that the machine world, when it comes alive, it will have to deal with us. It will have to be a part of what world that we've now spun into existence ourselves, and thus keeping the machine from overtaking us with its own version of what we are. As long as the machine knows that we are hyper psychedelic just by being alive, you know, it'll take some lessons from us being us, you know?
Yeah,
Beautiful
I
art
love that.
wisdom.
Reclaiming our humanness and or superhumanness, but beyond the machine, beyond what the machine's capable of. But you're very profound in the way you speak. It like goes, it's even more than that, obviously, what you're saying.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. Well, I want to flip through some of the art in the deck and take a global journey through visionary art. And I also noticed that
Quick question,
Brittany,
Delvin. Quick
yep,
question. Is that your given name or did you choose that name?
that's a
Delvin.
chosen name.
So, so did
Delvin,
you choose that it
Delvin
has Elvin in
Solkinson.
it?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to know
I
before I
saw
jump
it.
into sharing a bunch of other art that Brittany made a comment, and I know that she is a really important person in the pantheon of the Vision Train. I don't know if you want to tune in and say anything to Ariel, Brittany, but thank you for all your work on the Vision Train, all your participation in creating the visionary art culture. We really appreciate it.
Oh gosh, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be a part of such an amazing group of people that have changed my life. So I appreciate that. And yeah, Ariel, I've been watching your work for a long time, and it spoke to me quite a few years ago, and I'm excited to hear you talk about it. So thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you, Brittany.
Mhm.
Appreciate that.
Yay, well, maybe we'll just to get more visuals streaming through here, maybe we'll take this Vision Train trip through seeing some art from other artists, celebrate some other artists, invoke them. I did invite a bunch of artists here today, although it happens to be January 1st, and that is probably a day that people are chilling. If they probably maybe didn't even get the email I sent at 1 a.m. last night inviting them to show up. More artists may show up, but we're here to represent them either way. Ariel, you're welcome to tune in any time, but is there anything else any other thoughts that you wanted to share to feel complete before I jump in and share more of the curation of these 111 visionary artists from 24 countries on 6 continents? Wow.
Well, I'm very excited for that. And I just want to say that I had an intuition to show up, and this to me is starting. I mean, we're starting at a new year, for one thing. And but I feel so connected. I feel more connected now than I've been for a long time. And I think a lot of it was you contacting me about this project. And so I look forward to more and joining more things, and while I'm alive, when I mean it's a privilege just to be breathing and a witness to this world. So I look forward to more artists here. Um, and that's pretty much all I have to say. I can be back at some other point with some other group, and we'll continue this. I'm very excited, Delvin, and thanks again for creating an opportunity to be able to describe this and for me to reminisce and add to the story of it. So thanks. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank
Many
you so
blessings.
much. And maybe Amanda wants to tune in before we flip to another art, because you had said you wanted to be more involved in the vision train. I don't know if this could be a time to plant that seed. I don't know if there's an opportunity for artists to share a bunch of their work,
Well, it
host,
turned
be a
out,
conductor.
it turned out, I want you to say something, but it turned out that I had to join to get on this call.
Yeah, that's right.
And I thought I had joined already. It's such a blur sometimes with all this media coming at you, You're joining left and joining right. And I hadn't joined the vision train. Now I am. And so I'm more compelled to be a part of it, I do want to say something to Amanda about that, is that since you've been doing this over the years, I've just been witness to such amazing talks and talk after talk. You had levels of people that all related to each other somehow. And it was just magic hearing these people, and they have presentations and visuals about architecture, the future of permaculture, and the world itself. And I want to thank you for that. I want to say that's such a blessing, and it's such a counterpart to Cosm, and I love the interface that you have with them, and how there's so much teaching coming out from people like you guys and me, hopefully. I'm just excited about the whole thing. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so glad that you're finally here. And to the registration thing, we in the very beginning, we had the call set so that there was registration when you would get onto the Zoom call, and it turned off some. It was something. It was a while ago, but I'm experimenting with turning it back on so that we can build more of a reference to like who's really showing up here. And we have the Vision Train station, which is on the Mighty Network. And that I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure you do are on there as well. It's a different platform, but it was a way for us to gather and coordinate outside of Facebook. Because when the nonstop Vision Train started going like almost 5 years ago, that really got initiated through pulling groups together on Facebook. So anyhow, it's like this is a literal constant experimental space of creative community. And we keep exploring different ways to connect, and Zoom has been a main station kind of. But, it really takes conductors and those with self-initiative to see the opportunity and the space that we have here and see the tools to then come and get trained as conductors and host trips, right? And we can play off of each other. Say you want to come, like, I'd love to come and do a talk on this and connect you with another conductor on the train, find a coordinated time, get it scheduled, and then bam, we do it. So it's kind of like there's a big open invitation to the international visionary creative community, that's not just visual art, like getting together on here and having live music, live jams, and, supporting each other in this state of aliveness that we can do because connect to each other through this medium. It's pretty wild, and it's going to constantly evolve. So I'm really curious to see what's going to come in 2025. And this is a great way to kick it off. And,
Well,
2025, amazing. 5 years almost of the Vision Train, 5 years of, and this is all a continuation of all of the stories that have come before us, right? I mean, all our images are riffs off of forms and stories and things that are coming through our own unique filters. And we are explorers, interested in culture, interested in where is humanity, where are we going next, and how can we be of service and be a part of this? I think that's a very common denominator that is drawing us together.
Mhm, mhm. Well, I was so glad that I had to join because because it was really fast, it turns out. I was just afraid I was going to be late or whatever, but it turns out to be really fast. I think everybody who wants to should just join now because it's so easy. And once you get in, it's like the further in you go, the bigger it gets, right? And there's so much going on here that it's just yeah, it's like an explosion of visionary thought, idea, culture, where the planet needs to go, where we'd like to go, and attracting the people with the tools to make it happen.
Right.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Powerful new moon or new moon and new year affirmations.
Yeah, yeah. 25. Whoa.
Incredible. Amazing. I love it. Well,
Let's
we'll
look at some
see.
art.
Yeah, let's look at some art. We'll
Yeah.
see who tunes in, but jump in at any time to make comments about the artist, about the art. Look for themes, look for patterns. There's all sorts of sets within sets. I mentioned now I forget what I called them, the visionary saints, maybe, as a theme, but there's angels and there's entities, there's elves for sure, there's fairies, there's these specific groupings, which is another game in some ways, just like how grouping the cards. Oh, I'm going to make a little elf micro gallery out of the deck today and pull out all the elves or whatever it is. Um, this is Amanda Sage, who I love that this is her piece Seraphim because she's one of the art
Autumn
angels of the
sky.
deck. Autumn Sky. I am so tired. You're going to have to stay on me, Amanda, because I only slept for a few hours last night, and this is the end of a marathon 5 weeks of onlineness. But Autumn Sky lives near us. She lives on the coast of British Columbia, just a short distance from us. So there's a few really local visionary artists, and she is absolutely incredible. She teaches tons of courses. I don't know if anyone here has been on one of her courses, but Autumn Sky is really incredible. And I love this is Seraphim because she is one of the angels and she has multiple pieces in the deck. She's been a huge supporter of the project for many years. And I really, really appreciate her so generously lending her work. And she's one of my favorite artists in the deck too. So yeah, I love that. Has anyone taken any classes with her? I know she teaches at Cosm, but she does retreats all over the place too. Probably people out there maybe on the live stream are nodding, or people watching this later. But who's this, Amanda? Do you know this artist? This is
Oh yes, this is D.S. Schwertberger. And he is one of the legends of the I'd say early second generation of the Vienna fantastic realists, kind of sprouting off of them. And he studied the Misch technique early on with Ernst Fuchs in the 70s. And he's one of the ones that I look to as being, has gone really deep in his exploration of his expression. And his stone people, they're so deeply metaphysical narratives, but these stone people and the light, ephemeral and the matter, deeply spiritual, beautiful works.
Mhm.
Well, I've been in contact with his son during this campaign, who's been tuning in, Stefan, who's from Vienna. Correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding of the history, I spent a lot of time at Cosm with Alex Nelson, worked on senior staff there for a long time, served as the senior managing editor of Cosm Journal of Visionary Culture since 2009, and the new 11th edition of Cosm Journal just got released after 5 years, this is a 5-year cycle of the Galactic trading cards too. So it's like that came and now this is here. My understanding of visionary history is that there's a circle of artists that Alex and Allison Gray were involved with in New York City, including Diaz. And he had a gallery in New York City in the early days. And Olga Spiegel and who was the psychic, who's that visionary psychic artist? My brain isn't working fully properly, but Ingo Swan. So there was a group of them that were really exploratory in the 70s, early 80s, I believe, in New York City. And Diaz actually had one of the first galleries that really showed visionary art in New York from my limited understanding of visionary history. So he's been a supporter of the deck for a really long time, and I was grateful. He was contacted during this campaign, actually. He's been in tons of past editions, and I connected with his son, and then I connected with him, and he sent his blessings and sent this work for the deck. So there was some curation that was happening during the campaign itself. It was exciting because I think we were at 100 and some odd. Anyway, we're now up to 111, which is a perfect number. But this is representing Japan, Satoshi Sakamoto, who I get a deep satisfaction of corresponding with artists using Google Translate who don't speak English, who speak in different languages. And that was one of the touchstones for this project, was how many countries can we get? We need the 6 continents. You need people from all over the place. So this is one of the Japanese artists in the deck. And yeah, what a joy. And this is called the Mercury House. Speaking of Terrence. This is from Argentina. And this is an artist that discovered, because I'm always searching for new art. And in this deck in particular, I really want it to be focused on people from outside of North America with a special focus on women. I really wanted there to be like a balance and diversity. And I don't want to mispronounce people's names here. So let me see if I can, my little cheat here, if I can dig this one out. But obviously the stoned ape theory comes into play here. Isbelio Godoy. This is called Tionanic. How do you pronounce that? Tionanacatl? Ariel probably knows. With the flesh of the gods, it's the Spanish word. Tionanacatl, I'm going to say. Argentina. So Isabel Godoy, grateful for him. Also in translation, our communications in translation coming in for the deck. There's Ariel. I wanted to put him early. Mark Hansen was here with us on the Vision Train at our recent presentation, Stone Circles and Visionary Art, which was about the creation of this deck. Now, this deck was made at that the text was channeled in ceremony at over 55 sacred spaces in 5 of the Celtic realms: Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Cornwall, and England, which is why I have Molly Uchaff, the Welsh Roswell, behind me in that picture. Anyway, Mark Henson is one of the legends and elders. Maybe Amanda wants to say something about him, but he's been around teaching, leading, sharing work, deep in the festival culture, showing up at countless festivals for decades and decades and decades. And yeah, he's one of those people who just shows up and shows up and shows up again and again.
Yeah, he's one of the OGs. I see him as that OG West Coast, and very much narrating, our options. I feel like in a way of kind of showing his painting New Pioneers, is very much showing that's at Cosm right now at the Entheon. It's like the option. We go this direction, humanity, or do we want to build this? Kind of like very much drawing that out. And he's just a sweet soul. Mark Henson's on the Vision Train a lot, and we love him.
We did feature New Pioneers, the Utopian side only in the previous 2018 deck. We made 1,000. There's still a few left in our Etsy shop, but these are all limited edition. They're only printed once. But what do you think, Amanda? This is kind of like the seeding visionary culture. It's kind of another type of iconic piece in some ways.
Totally. And this one's it's very uplifting. And his compositions are iconic too. Yeah. Big vision stuff.
Hanson, you're a master, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll show up and talk more about it. I sent him a note, but as I say, it was the middle of the night last night. It's one day later. We'll see. Mind State, San Francisco, early 2000s. I ran into Pablo Marengo, the maestro, and Dennis McKenna's told me some stories about him, but he looked at me for just a few seconds right in the eyes, and then he sat down and wrote this full card to me in Spanish, which I still have. It was like a blessing. And we stayed in touch. And his son, Juan Amaringo, bless you, Juan, who manages the estate, has generously continued what Pablo started, which is contributing art to the deck. So he's been one of the early contributors to all of the decks. So Pablo goes back with Dennis McKenna to bring in the Terrence thing as well, where Dennis McKenna and Luis Eduardo Luna helped inspire Pablo Ringo when he decided to retire from his shamanic work to be an artist, and they encouraged him to paint his visions. So I talk about OG, and I've always think when artists really paint unique pieces, it's not just their own style, they're starting a genre. And like he kind of started a whole genre of, I don't know what you want to call it, nothing really, you could say shamanic art, but it's more specific than that. But Usco IR is an art school still working today, and they have a bunch of different teachers, and you can learn this style from Peru of their version of, or a version coming out of their visionary art. And I'm really interested in the Peruvian scene. There's tons of Peruvian artists in this deck. That was a real focus of mine. So we'll see how far we get in the curation, but that'll come up again and again. Thanks, Brittany. Brittany's signing off there. It's like we're hanging out in the living room. There's just a few of us, but maybe there's other people out there in Cyberland that are tuning in live. And it sounds like this is going to YouTube. So Olga Klimova, there's a bunch of pieces that are permaculture pieces because I'm all about permaculture, but this is the sentient, the Gaian imagery I really love. And I met her at Cosmo a lot. She's from New York City. But during this process, let's see if I have the original name, it's called like Rubakaya, and she contacted me like a couple weeks ago, and she said, people don't get the complex reference. Let's actually just call it Gaia. So through the process of the GTC, the title of this piece was kind of re-expressed. So that was kind of interesting. And she's a live painter too. Well, one of our dear friends, Aloria Weaver, who's also been a mainstay, a long-term visionary artist who's taught many classes, inspired many of us, and her and her partner David Heskin have been really dear friends, and we've interacted so many times over the years. And with Amanda, and this is Hathor, it was interesting when we started to do the social media for this Kickstarter campaign. We thought, well, we got to not have nudity. So we've chose details, but there is some nudity in the deck. But an amazing piece, and definitely the Egyptian is one of the themes. And there's some in the deck that you'll see definitely ties into the Egyptian legacy. Vera Atlantia, she is taught through the Vienna Academy that Lawrence Kari, how do you say his last name? Amanda? Caruana. And I've met him before in person, but I'm not good with pronunciations. That's French. Anyway, Vera Atlantia, I haven't met, but I know she teaches classes and teaches at the Vienna Academy. And I thought this was very permacultural piece too. It's called The Seed of Enlightenment. It says, your mind is like a wish-fulfilling tree. Your thoughts fall like gems into the fertile soils of your being. Grow the seed of your highest wish. What do you want? Freedom, I say. She smiles and points to the sky. If you want to be free, be like the pole star. All stars are rotating around this. All stars are rotating around this one. Only the pole star is not moving, silently watching. Be like this, unshakably at peace amidst the dance of creation. I smile and keep quiet. There is a few digital works in the deck. This is one of the Mugwort, who's one of the main visionary designers of the deck. Very elvish, very inspirational. And so not only did he design that set of design backs I shared earlier, but we wanted to represent him in the deck. He's just been an incredible contributor. And let's see, I believe this is Astral Tiger. Check out Mugwort Designs on Instagram. Tyler Gentry. He lives in our little village in the Sunshine Coast. He's a visionary surrealist and amazing man, and definitely is forging some new ground with his art. Really unique and interesting style. Yeah, love this. This is the Elphinstone. So this is representing some of the elvish elements here. Lots of mushrooms. The Elphinstone has tons of different mushrooms. I even see those little candy cane. They're not actually mushrooms. They're like oddballs, they're called in the plant books. They're from another realm of life. That's in the upper left below the owl, which we see around and about. Lobsang Melendez, a really favorite artist of mine. Lobsang's Secret Art. A really incredible discovery. This is the first time I've worked with him in the deck. Really generous of him to, actually he was in the 2018 deck too, but there's more of your elvish tech there, Tiffany, for sure. I love this. I totally do. It feels like one of the aces, like the beginning, like a gatekeeper of sorts. Yeah, I really love this. I think the title's in Spanish. So I don't think I can pronounce it. Viajero del Tiempo. I think it translates to time traveler. I think this is the time traveler. So another artist from Peru who been communicating with in Spanish thanks to the wonders of Google Translate. Oh, let's see. The only thing I have here is a little stack of art wisdom quotes. Maybe I'll see if I can break into those too, just to add another level. Barbara Marx Hubbard said, "Small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos can shift the whole system to a higher order." Love these little essential drops of art wisdom from people throughout the ages. So maybe we'll bring in some of the great thinkers through history to this kind of emergent presentation and jump in at any time. Here's another permaculture one. Here's another Pachamama, Mother Gaia. Let's see. Yeah, I think I have a good quote for this one. Permaculture. Actually, Heidegger, the philosopher, said to dwell is to garden, which I always like that one. He's like a pretty heady philosopher. Martin Heidegger wrote some pretty heady books. Take on that. Pick this one up. Rafael Oliveira Castro. Yeah, this is called Madre Tierra Pachamama. Amazing artist from Peru, another the Peruvian school. I love it. The warm embrace. This is a Canadian artist who I actually met at COSM during one of the members events. And we had a synchronous meeting and really connected. She's Indigenous painter from Quebec. And she has a French name too, so I'm going to try and do her justice. We've stayed in touch. She's really inspiring. Mindy Eva Ulay. And this is called Grandmother Moonkeeper of the Sacred Art. And I'm really, really grateful to have some traditional indigenous art in the deck. That was a core intention. And I acknowledge that I'm here today on traditional territories of the indigenous people, as we all are. And in permaculture, it's really important for us to think about decolonizing ourselves, decolonizing our art, decolonizing our culture. And the visionary culture is adopting this. We're really waking up to some realities, and truth and reconciliation is huge in Canada. And anyway, this is a traditional visionary culture of Canada. Look how artful it is, the clothing and all of the animals and the sacred objects. And yeah, I'm really grateful to Mindy Eva Ulay for contributing here. She's just awesome.
I would love to meet her and invite her to the train. I'm sure so many of the artists, they would all show up if they had time or would see,
She would love it, Amanda. She would absolutely love it. She's so excited. She was so lit to be at COSM when I met her, and she loves the visionary scene, and she would absolutely love to do a presentation. Yeah, similar with Ariel, I imagine, kind of coming in and sharing different works and sharing stories of the art and kind of having a feature moment that could inspire other folks. Let's meditate on her.
I just want to do a quick shout out to everyone. We have like 30 minutes left, I think. Is that correct? For the campaign. And
thank you. Exactly. 33 minutes exactly.
And the live isn't getting much reach right now either, but it's going to be there for folks to rewatch at any time or jump back on, which is good to have. But I just want to put that out there for anybody like in the fold of knowing that we have this time frame.
Thank you. We are in the stretch. Maybe we're reaching for the foil here, the foil elements, but it's great to bring in the new year with amazing artists and sharing and celebrating diverse art from people all over the world. We have, what did I say? We were at 120. There's 128 cards, there's 111 artists from 24 countries on all 6 continents. So it's great just to celebrate diversity and global community as we ring in the new year. So I really appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, Tiffany.
Yeah, I came in late, so can you remind me what the campaign is?
We're just finishing a 25-year creative process that includes hundreds and hundreds of artists making the Galactic trading card Oracle complex, which I've been calling more recently just the Galactic trading cards. We're making the final Capstone edition. It's the 15th edition. So this is the completion. So there's been 14 editions where we redesigned, recurated, rewrote the cards. So it's the same project, but it's been upgraded and upgraded and upgraded for 25 years. So this is the Capstone edition where we've refined the starship interface back. The text has been written at sacred sites through the Celtic Isles. There's more diverse art, more diversity of cultures, more diversity of genders, more balance with a lot more women involved, a lot more people from outside of North America. So yeah, we just hit our goal, our minimum goal.
So it's a fundraising campaign?
In a certain way it is. Yeah, yeah. The art's given freely, the design's done freely. I volunteer to make it. So we just thought, let's crowdfund the funds to print and ship the cards. And so, yeah, there's ability to pre-order. It's a limited edition thing. There's not going to be many after the campaign's over. So there's just the final opportunity to pre-order a deck. The other thing that is an activation is that there is actually the ability for artists to sponsor a card. And the way we designed this is you sponsor a card, it's like $1,111 Canadian, which is probably around $850 American or something like that. Your art gets in the deck seamlessly. And then we give you 10 decks. You could give those decks or you could sell them to recover the investment. So pre-ordering decks, but also a few artists that wanted to be art angels have kind of jumped in in the final days of this project to participate and have their art next to all these amazing visionaries, and also to get this bunch of decks for themselves. So that is the program. This is the Inca Prophecy. Bruce Harmon is from California. He's been in the deck for a little while. Fong encouraged me to use this piece. We had this other piece that was it's like Buddha, Christ, and I can't remember the other character. Anyway, we changed the curation and chose this one, which is the Inca Prophecy, to represent. And Bruce is an amazing artist who's been around for a really long time. I'm going to kind of speed this up a little bit, jump in though, but knowing of our timing, it's like, let's explore some art. Herman Schmorenberg from the Netherlands. Did you want to say something, Amanda?
Yeah, no, just go. And it's so good to see all of them. And this cat is the fluffiest, most beautiful looking cat I've ever seen painted.
I just fell in love with it. I love cats. So does Grace. We're huge cat lovers. And the texturing of the fur is really, really great. Herman Schmorenberg from the Netherlands, incredible artist in the imaginary realism scene. Now we're crossing many genres here. Welcome, Jen. And this is the imaginary realists of Imaginal Editions. I mean, there's all these books and traveling shows. It's a whole other scene. Visionary adjacent, is that a thing? I don't know. Imaginary realists, there's a bunch of them in the deck, and we could acknowledge the different genres here, because it's certainly not just visionary art. It's actually tons of genres, all focused on sharing the wondrous, sharing visions of the beyond. So I just love this piece. Fantastic. Double checking on the pronunciation of some of the artists that I haven't met that are from Peru that I've only talked to in translation. I just want to get it right, but take a minute to absorb. Let's soak this one in. He just texted me today. This is Freddie Tuanama Guerra, and this is called Ambo Onanya. Freddie, you're amazing. Freddie does a lot of incredible sacred geometrical art with a lot of depth. Check out his Instagram, follow his work, but you can see that living, vibrant halo. He does a lot of pieces, even without figures, that are sacred geometrical wonders. This is an interesting work from one of the grandmothers of the visionary art culture, who I've been so blessed to meet a number of times. Amanda's probably familiar with her too. She started the Society for the Art of Imagination, Bridget Marlin. And I believe actually Daniel Morante was the model for this work.
It does look like that. He does have a bit of a Christ.
Oh, I love Daniel's work too. He's incredible. Bridget, yeah, what a powerhouse. Meow, meow, meow. This is Louis Tamani, another of the Kitty series in the deck. Louis Tamani is amazing, amazing artist from Peru. He's been living in France, I believe, for a while now, but may be familiar with his work. This is Sabina Natura. Yeah, this did really well on the socials of all the posts, but the text was all like meows, like meow, 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 trading cards, meow, meow, Louis Tamani. And it was, I think, the most successful of all of the 128 posts we did in the last 5 weeks. Burgundy Viscosi from Seattle, pretty close to where we are. Yeah, she's amazing. I've met her out at Cosm a number of times. I don't think I've run into her in Seattle, but yeah, she's really, really incredible. Absolutely. Very vibrant. I think this is Blue Lotus. Now, Amanda could probably pronounce this better than me. I want to say Wolfgang I don't know. He's from Nuremberg, from Germany. I don't know if my pronunciation is correct. We've only communicated in German using Google Translate. But have you seen his work before, Amanda?
Epic. I love it so
It's
much.
so
I can't remember
gorgeous.
where I saw it for the first time, but you said this is the first time you have his work in the deck, right?
No, actually, he's been in the deck a few times.
Okay,
Actually, yeah.
because I think
Yeah.
I've probably learned about his work through the deck.
It has connected lots of artists and stuff together. And Tiffany, here you go. Pure Elvish right there. That is just right out of Wonderland. Yeah, that's an amazing painting
The
right there.
colors,
Um,
the
it's
colors.
called The Flower Blower.
Yeah. Ridiculous. This, when I saw that, I want that color scheme. I want to paint something just in those colors. Oh, delicious.
Um, the master, Mitsuru Nagashima from Japan, who's become a friend over the years, incredible artist, a printmaker, woodcut, Japanese woodcut, traditional style of painting. Um, Incredible, fantastic painter, very active online. Mitsuru Nagashima. Check out his Instagram, follow him on Facebook. He's very active and shares all sorts of wondrous work. But yeah, the fine art side of all of this, just like really beautiful, technical, very, of course, influenced by traditional Japanese painting techniques. This is his photograph of the art. I just threw it in raw here, but just love it. Love it. Yay, Japan for the win. And this is my brother, David Heskin. He tattooed me. He's amazing. I can't wait to see him again soon. Him and Aloria Weaver teach. They're incredible artists, profound teachers, work in many mediums. And this is his portrait of Aloria, which I just really love. They work with gemstone pigmented paint. I don't know if any of you play around with that, but and gold leaf and different things. But have you ever used any of that stuff, Amanda? The powdered gemstone paint? Not so much. Yeah, it's
Not yet. I
not yet.
say because it's not for lack of fascination. I just, not enough fascination to do it though. I mean, nobody's like sent it to me. I have to go get some. But Natural Pigments is a company that I definitely enjoy their products, and they have a lot of really cool. I have some cool pigments from them.
And Dave and Aloria sell some type of
So David makes this really incredible oil
hmm,
for painting. And his newest one I used in my last course at COSM, and was very happy to promote it there and to play with it. It's made out of hemp seeds.
yeah, that's right.
Very, very beautiful to work with. Soma is the name of the oil.
Soma, that's right. Looks like we have 20 minutes left at the end of this 5-week campaign
Okay,
to
everybody get your
crowdfund the
decks.
Galactic trading cards.
Get
Yeah,
your decks.
this is the moment. This is it. A lot less expensive to buy on the campaign, and if there's any left afterwards, because we're sending each artist 3 decks and 55 individual cards, and there's 111 artists. So I think we'll see about the edition that we end up doing, but like that's already, what is that, like over like 350 plus. That's probably going to be a third of the edition, more than a third of the edition. So yeah, I mean, and I want some, and yeah, and then of course the backers. I don't know how many have been backed, but $20,000 worth has got to be tons of decks. So we'll see how many of these are left after the campaign. Let's spin through some more art.
I'm gonna go live on Instagram too.
Yeah, let's do
on
it.
Zoom. I'm gonna meta the meta.
Thank you. Derek Valcare, very vibrant, awesome artist, Valcare art. And I I think that he calls this one Catch a Fire, but I've been referring this as Saint Bob. So I feel like this is in the Visionary Saints sequence. I don't know if you caught that recent movie about Bob Marley's life, but I love it. I love it. Ishkala, really potent piece. I haven't met her before, but I love her work. Yeah, I love this. Definitely. There's a bunch of pieces in the deck that represent tons of different beings. And this has all these people at different life stages. Just gorgeous. Paul Lewin, I just discovered through this process, and I absolutely love his work. He would be a great person to come on the Vision Train and share. Really unique, really awesome, this pantheon of cosmic future culture, different visionary beings. Yay.
Okay,
Thanks,
so we're
Amanda.
live on Instagram too now. We're doing meta situations. So we're 20 minutes we have to go, or 17 minutes of the very end of this epic Kickstarter for Galactic Trading Cards Capstone Edition. So guys, get in there. We're
Thank
looking
you so
for-
much, Amanda. That's right. This is the final moments in a 25-year process. This is the 15th and final edition of this Visionary Art Oracle Complex. And it includes 111 artists from 24 countries and all 6 continents. This is your last chance to get in the crowdfunder, get a deck. Also, if you're an artist, you can, I mean, there's only a few minutes left, but you can get in, you can sponsor a card to be seamlessly included in the deck, in addition to getting 10 full decks back that you can gift or sell to recover your investment. So we're welcoming people to jump on in these final moments, and we're reaching for the foil. We want to add some foil elements, including a card from Ariel Ali, who's live with us here, and also Amanda Sage, who's one of the hosts of this session. Pascal Ferry, Callanish, this is in the Outer Hebrides. So awesome to be in ceremony at this sacred site with this art of the sacred site where Pascal sat, and to be composing the oracular text to accompany the art in the deck. This is Martina Hoffman's partner, a French artist, really spectacular, and does a lot of paintings of these sacred sites, stone circles, megaliths, dolmens, quats, which were the location, the sacred location for the creation of this deck. So this is kind of like one of the meta cards, picture of the kind of places that the cards were created. In Scotland, this is the land of my ancestors in the Outer Hebrides. Genus Argenti Flores, unreal artist. One of my favorites. Totally gorgeous. I believe this is on banana paper, but check out his work. He's from Peru, and he travels around. He's in the festival circuit, but absolutely incredible. I feel so honored and grateful to have Genus Argenti in the deck. And maybe I'll even just flip out because there's like, I don't think we're going to get through them all because I'm just talking a lot here. But boom, here's the other piece he just gave 2 weeks ago. It was like a final offering to empower the deck to like reach our goal. I just love this piece and I love this artist. Look at that. I mean, that is a painting right there.
Right.
It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, I'm so honored. He was so generous of him to jump in and offer that piece. Look at all these works. So I'll have to pick up the pace. Honor more artists maybe in the
Woo! I love
time
this
here.
one.
I know. Am I going to pronounce this artist right? Can you pronounce it? Do you know this artist? It's
Yes.
Naoto Hattori.
Naoto. Yes.
Naoto, yes.
And they're so tiny. His paintings are tiny.
This is tiny.
I've
This
known
is
his work for a
amazing.
long time. He's also, yeah, Japanese, I think, too.
Yep. He, I think, lives in the US now, and he's someone who's from the juxtapose scene a little bit, which is another wing of this, these many different art cultures that are sharing Art of the Beyond have always wanted him in the deck. This is his first piece in the deck. So there's a few like that where some of my dreams are coming true, to include some artists in the deck. This is Walter Tamani Arirama and his partner. It's a collaboration. Gonna get this one right. Miriam Requena, who is amazing, and one of the women from Peru that is in the deck, which I really appreciate because most of the Peruvian artists I have at this time are male. And as I said earlier, there's a big focus on getting as many women involved in the deck, especially from outside of North America, as we could. But isn't that gorgeous? I love the collaborations, and it's their partners. So it's like, I love collaboration.
Beautiful.
Ooh, the lion-footed one. Kent Galleries, Paul Lafley. I've met him a bunch of times. He's no longer with us, but I really appreciate Douglas Walla at Kent enabling me to continue to share Paul Lafley's work in the deck as it has been for many years. Really incredible. This is actually transformation, which sometimes is called death in the tarot. And it took me a long time to figure this one out, but Paul Lafley, he had a lion foot like created for him after losing his foot. Sharon McLeod, Queen Bee from the Australian visionary scene. There's a whole scene of visionary artists in Australia. Bless up Australia, represent if you're online here. And she's a wonderful artist, made a card deck herself, and sort of from the esoteric wing of the visionary art culture. Sharon McLeod. Lily Moses, also from Australia. She's done a lot of art for different decks. Wow, we're 13 minutes to the completion of this crowdfunder we've done for the last 5 weeks, which itself, as I said, is the completion of 25 years of work on this project. And it's all coming to completion in 13 minutes on this crowdfunder. Lily Moses is amazing. I just love her work. That's some nice datura flowers there. Okay, this I definitely need help pronouncing because I've met Stella before, but I don't think I've ever tried to pronounce her last name. Do you know, Amanda?
I wish I feel embarrassed to not.
I'm gonna try because
You do
I
it.
did this with the Gaelic at our recent Stone Circles and Vision Art presentation on the Vision Train, which you can get the recording on the Vision Train YouTube. I'm gonna go with Stella Trzewska. Hope that honors
Sounds
you,
good to
Stella.
me.
You
I
are
know that,
amazing.
yeah. Stella, we love you. She's
Isn't that incredible? I believe this is a pencil crayon piece.
yeah, not sure. It does look like it could be. Mhm. Watercolor. maybe.
Okay. Here's the, I think maybe it was watercolor too. This is the portrait I was talking about from Seth Leibowitz, St. Denis. And this crowdfunder started off with a podcast with Dennis McKenna on the Brain Forest Cafe. Incredible podcast. Check it out. And of course, listen to the one about the Galactic trading cards if you're inspired. But there's tons of amazing teachers on here. So this art was released in the last deck, and then Seth went back, upgraded the art, painted a bunch more on it, and then we're releasing the like 2.0.
Cool.
Guy Atchison, bam, one of the masters of tattoo and incredible painters as well. Lightform 7. I consider this one of the elvish icons of the deck as well. Yeah, Guy Atchison, amazing. Amazing. Oh, this is the other one from Seth, St. Jimmy. He has a different name for it. What does he call it? Seth Leibowitz, you are an incredible painter. This is called The Power of Love Overcomes the Love of Power. But I call it St. Jimmy because it's part of the Visionary Saints series in the deck. But yes.
Sound. Imagine.
Anne Wheaty, we featured her in Cosm Journal. I was looking for a visionary artist from Africa. She's an art instructor at Kenyatta University in Kenya. And this is African Man. I really love this piece. I love her work. We put her in the first Cosm Journal I worked on in 2009. we featured her work. Incredible. Thank you, Anne. Autumn comes up through the deck. She's one of the angels. Love, love, love Autumn's work. Just beautiful. Thank you, Autumn. Autumn Sky. Check her out. This is the elusive Maura Holden, who goes by Madame Promethea, and I actually haven't been in contact with her for a while, but this is a portrait honoring Ernst Fuchs, who you can kind of see in the middle there. And she's an incredible artist, totally amazing. I haven't met her before, but maybe one day I will.
I think she's one of his most devout students that he never met. No,
Wow.
he did. They did meet. She didn't
Okay.
study with him though. They
I
met
see.
at Torre Superiore during one of the Visions in the Mish Technique seminars.
Well, it's great. Ernst has been involved in past decks, thanks to Amanda, but is not in this deck. He has gone to be with Roberto Venosa and many other great artists who will live on from the beyond. This is Alfredo Zagacita, Grandmother Moon, who is from Peru, although we did meet at COSM. Professor Phil Rubinoff, one of the OG old schoolers, written tons of books on art and art culture. Yeah.
7 minutes to go, folks. Go get your deck. If you want one of these decks, you got to pledge now. Are there going to be any extras for people to buy?
Actually, Grace just crunched the numbers. There is 574 decks already spoken for between backers and artists. I believe we'll be making, we haven't confirmed the number, but usually we make 1,000.
Okay.
I would like a couple hundred because I love to give them out. And also there is some debt to intentional friends for this project. And part of the ritual completion of this is to actually sell some decks to pay off some no interest intentional loans from some of my dearest friends over the years. So I'm guessing there'll maybe be a couple hundred afterwards. If you're watching this after the campaign's over, we do a backer kit. It'll be a little more expensive, but you can pre-order decks on backer kit after the Kickstarter campaign's over. And then, yeah, there might be some that make it to Etsy, but the idea with this is limited edition artifact, not many made, not available online. This is print only.
Cool.
Liba Stambolian. Oh, she's one of the art culture creators. Have you met her, Amanda?
Oh, yes.
She's from Paris.
Yes.
I love this piece. She just sent her blessings yesterday.
And
Yeah,
Liba's awesome.
amazing.
She did an epic project of a tarot deck and 3-book series that she's been working on for a decade. And I was honored to be a part of that.
Check out her deck. It's amazing. We love art decks, art oracles. Really incredible. My old roommate, Luke Brown, who was with me on the night that the Galactic trading cards started. What's up, Luke? He's in Bali now. Amazing exploratory visionary artist. This is Joshi Pelli. How do you pronounce it?
I don't know. I can't see it.
So, oh yeah, that's right. This is Daniel Esteban Cardenas. First time in the deck, discovered him, another Peruvian, really beautiful grandmother medicine. This is Numa Dragonfly, Andrew Gonzalez partner from France, really gorgeous artist. Viandara Elfarian, who I believe she in the deck with Liba. This is Faith. I've always wanted to have her art in the decks. This is the fulfillment of that, but a very technical, incredible artist. Thanks for all the communications, Viandara, over this process. Now, this is another one. I'm not sure if it's pencil crayon or watercolor, but this is Varda Ma from Russia. And I just love this work. It's very iconic. And I'm glad to have Russia represented. Thank you, Vardama. This is Marisi. And I've been looking, I'm finding online, I'm not sure where Marisi is, but I believe from Brazil. And we had a correspondence and did the exchange on the art. And I haven't been in touch with him for a little while, but I've tried to look him up online. I can't find him, but Murici. So Marisi, tune back in at some point. I'll be finding you so I can get you your deck. Igor Volos, another really technical artist that I always wanted to represent. An unusual work compared to his other works, if you've seen him, and he's shares a lot on Facebook. There's Autumn Sky again. What an angel. Katharina Rupert, who's I think Mexican, but also lives part-time in Ireland and does huge murals, like large murals on big walls. This is called Realms of Reality. And here's Miriam Requena. This is a work that's just her earlier. We saw a work that she was collaborating with her partner, Walter Tumani Arirama. And she does a lot of visionary mandalas. There's Autumn. I shared this one on Christmas. This is the Christmas share. Just love it. It's stunning. I'm going to go visit Autumn soon. She does a lot of events. She teaches a lot of classes at her place in Canada, near where I live, but also all over the place internationally, including at Cosm Chapel of Sacred Mirrors. This is one of the digital works. Dr. Jones, Andrew Jones, Android Jones. Been in the deck for a super long time. Incredible artist. Amazing. Yeah. Let's see, I'm getting a call here to like jump into a couple of these other works. Amanda, we have
Oh, we got seconds.
just a couple of minutes left. We're at the end. Do you want to speak to this piece, that your collaboration?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is a painting by Joe Bob and I, my partner, that we did in started 2020, actually, at the Envision Festival in Costa Rica. And it's the great wave of transformation. And we are on the train right now. And we are heading back on those tracks on a journey of regeneration, reconciliation, and remembrance. And it's an honor to have this be a part of the deck.
I love it. Well, the Vision Train and the Galactic trading cards have a lot in common. They are seeds for many other projects that all of people out there are already doing too. We encourage you to make projects that connect tons of artists together, collaborating, sharing their work, working together. We're all about visionary community and collaborative co-creation and creativity. And we're excited to hear about more of your projects, all of you out there in the world, your projects that involve lots of different artists from lots of different countries. And we welcome, you can make trading card decks, books, you can come on the Vision Train and give presentations, you can do art jams. I mean, what other things can we do, Amanda? There's so many ways we can collaborate with the global artistic community.
Yep, it's true. It's such an honor to be a part of this weave with you, Delvin and Grace, and everybody on the train right now. And amazing. We're about to applaud 8 seconds. 7,
We're about
6.
to be.
What are we going to see? We're going to see it go.
We did it.
Congratulations.
We did it. We completed. Thank you. We are, is that confirmed there, hon?
Mhm.
We have completed. We are going to make the deck. We've reached our minimum goal 5 hours ago. It's been a journey over the last 5 weeks. Thank you to everyone for contributing. Ariel, I see you're tuning in here. You want to speak to the global community here?
Well, Happy New Year. I think it's pretty much that way for a lot of people. And we're just tuned in cosmically to this deck, this ideal of visionary art across the world. And we'll salute to that. this
Ariel
wonderful
Lee is
piece.
joining us. Ariel, it's so good to have you here. Sorry, what else did you want to share?
No, I was just saying that this is a beautiful piece. I just saw this the other day for the second time, and Amanda did it again. Just created something that went beyond what she's done, which is what we're supposed to do, I guess. It's so sublime and sensitive and delicate and just beautiful, beautiful. So
Yay.
happy to be a part of this.
Thank you. This piece that's up right now, that's Quantum Yin, and she is also one of the incarnations of the Great Mother, and I see that throughout this whole deck, and it's so cool to be a part of that and contribute to that vision and that prayer.
Gorgeous. Yeah, there's a lot of goddesses from all the world's traditions in the deck. And of course, the stone circle behind me and all of the stone circles and sacred sites from the Neolithic age and some from the Bronze Age are all expressions of the mother goddess culture, the matriarchal culture from which all of us have sprung, and all of our traditions and spiritual traditions all have roots in the traditions of the mother goddess. And this is the time that the mother goddess is returning to power again to inspire us to step forward to co-create this harmonic future culture, this visionary culture that we're creating with our art and our creativity, whether that's drawing or painting or dancing or music, or the way we relate to each other, the way we design our lives, our livelihoods, our relationships, our desks, our altars, everything. Yeah, Quantum Yin, I love it.
Quantum Yin.
Yay, well, this has been so cool to play on all the tracks and just try to generate the sound, to may it reach the others. And this is a gift. I just want to reiterate that this project, 24 years strong, going into the 25th year of the final edition, this was conceptualized, or it came into form on New Year's 2000, right? You were the receiver. Delvin was open for it. He's like, all right, give me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to do. And that's how this was formed. And 24 years later, and hundreds of artists weaving, many of us have found each other also through this project. And it's, there's so many ways, like before the internet, how did a lot of people find other artists? And record covers, there's a whole period of that, books, right? Trading cards. It's such an interesting, can you talk a little bit about how to use them? Like, how do you use these cards?
Well, I want to say to start that one of the core messages of this deck is share your art freely in small, accessible form in the shape of cards. Make little cards, even business card size one. Make little cards, carry them around, and when you meet people, give them your art for free on a little card. It'll promote you, it'll share your work, and you'll hand to hand, heart to heart. These little cards will pass and they'll spread all over the world. There's hundreds of thousands of these Galactic trading cards that are out in the world, mostly as singles, that are just passed on to other people. So we encourage all of you who are making art in any medium to create small, free, giftable items to proliferate art and art culture. That's a core message. It's like, we've done it together here. You can do it on your own. You can do it at home. You can, in any form, but we're here to encourage and inspire the creation and sharing of more art and art culture, especially in free, accessible, transportable, portable forms.
Totally. I've given away thousands of them. And stickers. I also do stickers. I've done that for many years. And then I'll make little business cards. They're little tiny ones, or just put a painting on one side, an image. And I have some great stories of people that I met randomly. And then many years later, or they'd still have it in their wallet. I'm forgetting a name right now. It'll come to me.
Let's just pick a piece of art here. Well, let's put Robert Venosa, one of the greatest visionary artists of our time. He's the patron saint of the Galactic trading card deck. I had the honor to meet and collaborate with him many times, and he has been a supporter of the deck since the beginning. His masterwork Astral Circus has been used on the booster sets and the boxes of the decks for a really long time. And yeah, every encounter with him has been so magical, whether it was staying in Terrence McKenna's cabin in Esalen to celebrate our connection, or on the playa at Boom Festival, where CJ James, the creative director of this project, the main designer, and I and Nasco Ripple created the Liminal Village at the Boom Festival for many years, and brought Robert Venosa out. Truly a great artist. Check him out. I'm really grateful to Martina Hoffman and the Venosa family. Celine Venosa's in the deck for continuing to support my projects and the Galactic trading cards and allow me to share Roberto's art. This is the Sovereign of Nebadon. This was the last image. Actually, Amanda's card and this were like the last images shared today that I saved for the last day because I love them so much. But yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, behind me is the Welsh Roswell, Mol Iw Chaff, one of the most perfect circles, stone circles in Wales at the top of this hill. It's a crazy journey to get up here. But sacred geometry, sacred math, we talked about it earlier. Amanda asked about how to use the cards. Well, first of all, it's a micro gallery, and we encourage you to, we talked about sharing cards. It's like create little micro galleries all over the place. The world is a gallery. Your Christmas tree, someone in my little village used their Christmas tree, your fridge, your wall, change them. They can be your art, other people's art. This idea of like ever-changing micro galleries, sharing artists from all over the world that inspire you, and sharing your own art is just such a fantastic concept. This is a star oracle. So the art from the beyond, from all these different artists, has a message. It shares the intention and the message. Errol Ali, who's here live with us, had an incredible talk about his work creating art of the beyond. And if you are tuning in later, you're watching this after, go back to the beginning of this recording because we have quite a bunch of time exploring his work, and hopefully he'll come back on the vision train and give a presentation. The art itself is a message. So you draw the art, you look at the art, it'll give you a message. What is the Sovereign of Nebadon telling you? That is the core transmission. So one way to use the deck is just to like pull it and look at the art. Now, one of the transmissions for me with these different inspirations from beyond, these beings that been instructing and collaborating on the deck, was that that creativity is not necessarily who we are. It's not really our own thing. It's something that we're privileged to bring through from this bigger space. And that divinatory systems, the essence of divinatory systems, which I've studied the I Ching and the tarot and different systems a bunch, the essence of divinatory systems is not to tell you what to do, but you have an encounter. You have an encounter with this being. What's your question? How should I pursue the next couple of weeks of the first year of 2025 might be my question. And then you have this encounter. And in that encounter, there's a type of creative confusion. What does this art have to do with my question? I'm looking at the Sovereign of Nebadon, encountering these cosmic angelic beings. How does that relate to my question of what I'm going to do over the next 2 weeks of 2025 to set my year in the right direction? Out of that creative confusion, you get these new perspectives and ideas about how to answer your own question. Getting out of your own way in this process and getting out of the logic of your past self and being open to creatively exploring new options, new pathways that you might not have thought of before. So the transmission is that the core direction, the compass, the celestial astrolabe of all divinatory systems is to support you to decide for yourself what you're going to do. and to give you more intention, more creative process to make that decision, not to tell you what to do. So the art is really open that way. This is a syncretic oracle. It also has the text, which is like messages from the medicine, visionary metapoetics, which use language to go beyond language and communicate uplifting, positive, creative messages. And that's another aspect where you can have a creative confrontation with this poetic text that is not clear. It doesn't say take the job or don't take the job. It throws you into your own expanded creative process to make the decision yourself. But we wanted to stack in, we were talking about the sacred math earlier today. We wanted to stack in other systems so you can use it as a star oracle, as a celestial astrolabe yourself. Or you can also use it to reference these existing divinatory systems. So it's completely synchronized with the tarot. Look at the art, the tarot numbers on there. That's the Queen of Cups. That's the priestess, the high priestess. Those archetypes are totally integrated, matched with the art. It's a fully working tarot. If you're into the I Ching, the cards have a hexagram, one of the 8 hexagrams per card. So you draw 2 cards, boom, you get one of the 64 I Ching. So the idea is it's like more and more creative fodder. Oh, the art. Okay, that gave me some ideas. Oh, the metapoetics, that gave me some ideas. I want more. Oh, there's a tarot archetype in here. Okay, how does my question relate to the high priest? Oh, I want more I Ching. Okay, lake over mountain, how does that archetype? Let's get into the I Ching translations and bring that in. And the more ways that you explore your question, the more creative fodder you have to make the decision yourself, but to like see it from different perspectives. Ariel Ali mentioned Jose Arguelles. I was really into Jose Arguelles for a time. I was on the global leadership training with Jose on the board of Planet Art Network Canada for many years, and studied with Jose. So there's a mind calendar aspect where each of the tarot suits have 13 cards. So they're matched with the 13 tones. And then the major arcana is 20. So it's matched with the 20 daykeeper glyphs. So you draw one of the minor arcana, one of the major arcana, boom. You have yourself one of the 260 Tzolk'in signs of the Mayan dream spell calendar. You could use that sign to direct yourself to the traditional Mayan calendar as well. And then Fong, I mentioned, was a big inspiration for the deck and has done a lot of work. He created iconography of the chakras. So for those of you that heard the sacred math before, it's like we added the etheric heart, which is turquoise. Then we have 8 chakras. 8 times 8 is 64. Boom, that's the sync with the I Ching. Plus 8 key cards, that's the sync with the tarot. So if you want, you can also just be like, which chakra does this card connect to? So that's a synchronization of those systems of the celestial soul astrolabe, the star oracle, the I Ching, the tarot, the mind calendar, the chakras, and anything else. The visionary art and the text itself is in there. So it's a syncretic oracle, has a bunch of different divinatory toolkits, all kind of like synchronized and connected.
Oh my God. I mean, you're amazing. And I can imagine that we're going to it's going to continue to unpack for a ton of people over time. Like you're one of those weavers that is kind of like ahead of a lot of things. It's just it seems like I'm getting the clarity on that right now. I
It's like
mean,
an oracle for sure.
it is an oracle for sure. Yeah. The coding, it's like the curation of things is another layer of telling the story. And I think can be definitely underestimated by folks sometimes. And it should not be. So much more celebration. So it's awesome to have you here and speak about it, and to see your dedication today has been, or just like the past weeks. I know you didn't get much sleep, Delvin. I just
I'm
Congratulations.
tired. I'm exhausted. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. We have the 4 core pillars here at the very final moments. Amanda Sage, Ariel Ali, and my beautiful wife, Grace Solkinson, who's been one of the core creators of this deck and has really taken it to the next level. And all of you out there, keep creating, keep connecting. We're really wanting to encourage collaboration and community building, making art with others, sharing art with others. And that's the core message of the Vision Train. And we hope that you will get on the Vision Train and participate in any way, and also create your own versions of ways to collaborate. Art jams with friends, gather on the full moon and connect, do presentations for friends and family, create art cards. I mean, get as visionary as you can and how to share your creative practices. Ariel, do you want to say anything? And then maybe we'll have Amanda close us out.
Well, again, I'm just glad to be here. It was really fortuitous and just grace upon grace, you know. I was reading some poetry last night that someone was writing about my art, and she just wrote, all this stuff came through. And I just realized that life is art, really. And if you just listen and you're open to it, it's speaking to you all the time. You know, reality is a Rorschach blot, you know, for who you are. And the cards they exemplify this. And your explanation for them, which is wondrous. And I'm just a pleasure to be here amongst you. And I hope to continue. Happy New Year to all.
Choo-choo.
You too. Yeah. Fantastic.
Amazing. Let's see. I'm trying to get so many meta things up here. I'm gonna pull Delvin up here too, and Ariel, and Grace. Cool. Crew. Thank you. This has been fascinating, and I'm always learning and expanding. We can't help it, right? I mean, that's what we're here for. And so the ceremony of the transition into a new cycle, so many folks celebrate that. I mean, we can't help it. We're forced to. All our devices and clocks are synced up like that. But yeah, going into 25, congratulations and thanks to everyone that's contributed and here and consciously and not. There's I think of Venosa and Fuchs and all the legends that are with us too, you know, and have given their blessings for this, and may it travel on way beyond our times into time to affect times of the future that are hopefully going to be more beautiful and equitable and generous.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Beautiful.
Grace, do you want to share anything?
Just have a bit of a cold, so you haven't heard my voice much. But thank you so much, everyone, and especially Amanda, for this amazing sharing of the final moments of the campaign. It's been such a labor of love and a community effort, so it's so beautiful to share the final moments with the community and all your artful endeavors. I just wish everyone the most amazing unfolding of the year ahead and an artful path to lay out in front of you.
Thanks for your amazing leadership, Amanda. We look forward to more presentations. Ariel, we look forward to your next appearance on the Vision Train. And we will be back doing a permaculture design your creative practice sometime early in the new year. So looking forward to collaborating with everyone. And Amanda, you are incredible. Thanks for creating opportunity for so much community to come together and so much creation and co-creation. What a joy it is to be on this journey with you. Thank you for your friendship and all your teachings, and I look forward to our journey ahead together.